Hello, and this is my first video blog or vlog for film and audio with Professor Furry, and I'm Kathy Osborne, and this is Chapter 1, Question 1. What does an audience seek from a visual story? Well, they have expectations. Obviously, if it's a comedy, they want to laugh. If it's a thriller, they want to be at the edge of their seats, nail biting. But whatever the genre, it should be compelling yet recognizable. That we want to make a connection. We want to feel part of and experience what the character feels as they go along. And through the connection with the character, we want to experience a catharsis, a release, or a renewal. Question number 2. How does the visual storyteller meet the audience's expectations? And that's through an emotional connection or link. How many of us can relate to being stuck in traffic knowing that there's a really important office meeting and we're going to miss it? There's that tension, that frustration, and we can relate to it. So that's where the link or the connection is paramount in developing an effective story. Question number 3. How does a visual storyteller establish an empathetic link with his audience? And there again, it's not just through computer graphics, but it's mainly through the character. And if it's familiar or they're dealing with familiar situations, but they also want something new and perhaps something a little exciting. But it's the emotions, the strong emotions that are experienced that makes our connection with the characters. Question number 4. When should the visual storyteller emphasize contrast? Contrast makes things clearer. It brings clarity. Therefore, it should be in and throughout the entire production. Number 5. What is the rule of 3s? Basically, beginning, middle, and end. Every story has a beginning and kind of introduced to the situation, the characters, then it's the conflict, and then the end is the resolution. And even the character itself, first we're introduced to the character where we sort of know, we get a baseline, then they experience the conflict and work through it, and hopefully they resolve it. Maybe they fail, but it's the resolution. So the 3s, beginning, middle, and end. Number 6, what is pre-production and why is it so important to visual storytelling? I would liken this to painting a room. When we paint a room, we don't just grab a bucket of paint and a paintbrush. First we scrape, we spackle, we sand, we clean. Sometimes we tape the edges. We put down cloths so it will contain it, where the paint where it should be painting, where the paint should end up. And once that's all done, when we have a clean surface, then we actually begin to paint. And it's much easier and, quite frankly, much more enjoyable. There have been times when I haven't prepared it properly, and it's frustrating. Pre-production is the beginning. It's where we garner our ideas, we brainstorm, and then brainstorming leads to focusing to a specific idea, our outline, script, shot lists, and storyboards, and even a pitch. So once we have the proper preparation complete, then we can actually start filming, start production, and it should be much cleaner, much easier, and much more enjoyable. not to mention probably more cost effective as well. Question number 7. What are some of the essential ideas to remember about pitching your story? Pitching is one of the it's a very important pre-production element where you are basically conveying your idea through storyboards to a selected audience because you want feedback. And the more clear, the more excited you are, and the more appropriate your tone is for your story. If it's a comedy, you want to make sure that you're upbeat. If it's more serious, you want to match your tone. With those elements in place, you can get a much clearer and more accurate assessment, which is what we all want. That's it for Chapter 1, and on to Chapter 2.